Hey everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at Myself a Home. We have tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
Today is episode 192, Transitioning Decor from Spring to Summer.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to this. And remember, you can find the show notes for today's episode at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/192.
Mm-hmm. You know, the warmer weather is upon us. I live in the bucolic farmland of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and today it's 77. The last week it snowed. This week it's supposed to be nice, and we're supposed to get a real dip again. But I've decorated for spring, and I'm eager to do some transitioning. And transitional decor is actually one of my favorite ways to decorate. It's when you decorate and you put things out, like let's say you're going to do a vignette, and you put something in that would work for spring and transition into summer, or that you would just have to take maybe like a plant out and put in some fresh flowers or something like that. And that is a beautiful way to decorate. Do you do any seasonal decorating at your house?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely do. Certainly there are some seasons you get a little crazy for, like Christmas and whatnot.
Definitely.
I decorate for Easter, and I did blown eggs for the first time this year and spray painted them gold and put glitter on them and all that.
Beautiful.
And I actually realized the other day they were still on the dining room table.
Well, you're ready for next year.
Time for those to go. So I moved those out, and I have not put anything really summery in its place yet because I'm kind of figuring out what I'm going to do. I am in the market to find a really big cloche, and I was at the Rose Bowl last weekend and I was looking, but I didn't come up with the one of the size that I wanted. So I'm going to thinking about doing something like that on my table. But for now, I just have some fresh flowers. But I definitely do nods to the holidays and the season. And spring, I don't go too crazy because here we have a very short spring. We kind of go from a rainy couple of months to a couple of brilliantly cool but sunny days, and everything looks so green and the camellias are blooming, and then all of a sudden it gets really hot really fast.
Yeah, so that sounds very familiar here. And I do some summer decorating, and it's kind of subtle. I mean, it's more pops of color, more plants in the house, and I'm kind of just trying to freshen things up and just kind of give it that summery feel. But it's probably not, it's understated, I would say. But I think you can do it kind of over the top or understated. I mean, there's definitely some fun things to do. And I think if you do something, it just really freshens your mood and just makes your house feel fresh. And you just feel ready for the season. And it gives you that interesting change. And I do like the idea, like you talk about, Yvonne, of what's going on inside your house, reflecting what's going on outdoors.
I live in a 4-season area. So for us, that's really important. And remember, I was a first grade teacher at one time. So we marked the calendar by seasons, and I just haven't given that up. So I'm always looking for change, and I love change. I get very bored with things staying in the same place all year long. So I think you're right, Anita. I think that is a very good, buzzword is to freshen up. When you come to summer decor. Also, I think of the word edit because, you've had lots of bedding and lots of heavy fabrics and, maybe pillows that were we'll have to put our Mongolian pillows away. And
we do.
I know.
Well, yes, because Yvonne made us do it last year, remember?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right. I did it. I did that.
Looking at it made her feel hot, so we had to
Yes,
right.
did. I told you the story of how Bobby, when we were dating, came to pick me up in August in a pair of brown corduroy pants. And and it's 98 degrees and it's very humid. You know, you would think we're in the South here, so drippingly humid. And I just looked at him and I said, you've got to go home and change. Looking at you makes me hot, but not in a good way. You know?
Yeah.
But I think that's the same thing with our homes. I just think of freshening up and editing. And we move from, I'm going to tell you probably now is the time. If you haven't already, put those golden eggs away, put your Eastery type of decor, your bunnies and your chicks and anything else that you might have. It's now time to put those away and to transition from, if you don't want to do, right now I'm not ready to do complete summer, but I am like bringing in seashells, and I do that in a very edited way because I just have maybe a couple bowls of those around the house. The closest beach is about 2.5 hours from us. But it's time to bring out lighter things and maybe not even things at all. Just give some breathing room to what you already have.
Well, and you know, I have a little something I love to add for summer that I think just adds such a fresh, summery feel. And I know it's something that we all three of us love, and that is Turkish towels. And you know, because they come in all these different colors now, you know, and I'll link to some sources on Amazon, but you know, you can get them a lot of different places, but they have so many bright colors. They're usually striped. And they're so much prettier than American towels because they have the tassels. But unlike American, which are very practical towels and absorb a lot, the Turkish towels aren't really as absorbent friendly. So they're not as great for actually drying off with, but they're fantastic for decoring your house. So you can use these and especially get some bright colors for summer. So put those fold them, get the large size, fold it at the foot of your bed. I've done that. I've used them as tablecloths. I've used them as a throw. You can use them and you can hang them in your bathroom and actually use them or not use them. They can be the show towels that Yvonne has. She probably has some Turkish towels, show towels in there right now.
I actually do. I have a navy, like a indigo blue and white stripe with tassels. So people can dry their hands in my powder room, but you can get the smaller size and use them as a table runner, and they are beautiful.
Well, and the smaller size, I actually, you know, like you said, you can use them as a table runner, but the other thing is there's some hand towel sizes that are great that you could use as a napkin or a placemat. If you're eating outdoors, I think they're fantastic because they'd be a little bit oversized if you're having barbecue or something. So yeah, I think that's
and if anybody's ready to go to the beach, you just pull it off the table and wrap it like a sarong.
And that's right. And then it goes table to beach. That's right. Wear it.
Exactly.
Table to beach. I think as we get into the warmer weather, you know, talking about spring, I've already pared down my bedding. And I pare it down even more. I've just discovered from Anita the wonderful world of living and sleeping with linen sheets. So they're a must. And I've just gotten a linen blanket that I love. And I shared in my one of my recent posts, and we'll put that in the show notes, a huge secret to you have an extra bedspread and probably don't know it. And I shared that, but I'm not going to give it away. You have to read my post to see what it is, because it is a major cool secret that I just absolutely came about as an accident. So it was like a serendipity type of thing. And so you just want to lighten up and change your bedding out. If you live in a season that has cooler weather and you're going into the warmer weather. And also we keep a fan running all year long because I just tend to, you know, I run a little warmer, but really make sure you have a fan for those hot nights, because even though my thermostat may say 68 in August, I can feel the humidity and I need that fan to, you know, just sort of cool me down even a little more.
So it's funny that you say that about the bedding, because I had fur throw from Restoration Hardware, sort of, artfully
gorgeous.
tossed
Don't we
on
all?
the end of the bed
Fur
for
throw.
a few months now. I make the bed and then I artfully throw it on there, and I think it looks fabulous. So Peter's walking in the other day, and he took the dogs for a walk, I guess, and they're all like, they came upstairs and they wanted to sit on the bed. He's like, I think it's time for the pelt to go away.
And you told me yesterday it was 95 degrees where
yesterday it was so hot. Oh my gosh.
Boy, it's not that hot here yet.
Yeah. It was
Oh
hot.
my goodness. So so I have this new thing I'm going to try this year.
Okay.
So see what y'all think about this, because, I have a hard time keeping the plants alive in the house, but I really love having them in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about maybe buying 4 beautiful plants and keeping them on my back porch. And every week, one of them gets a turn to come inside for the week.
It's their first week. That's what we used to call that. When you get the turn.
So they get the turn inside, but it's a little dangerous for them to be inside because things don't last as well inside, and maybe they are not getting enough sun or water.
Are you going to apologize when you bring them in?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to, because after a week they get to go back out into their natural habitat.
Well, and only if they survive.
I think I can keep them alive for a week inside.
Oh, I hope you don't lose track of time. You're going to need a spreadsheet.
Oh no!
And that's a really good idea. I like one statement plant in a room here and there, but that's a nice thing to do, is maybe bring a beautiful plant in for the summer. And what a good idea, Anita. If you are a plant killer like Anita and I are the indoors, I can grow anything outside, but inside, I'm more neglected than anything else. But that's a really good idea. Get a beautiful statement plant and baby it all summer long indoors so you can enjoy it just as much.
Here's something I like to think about when I'm transitioning my decor for the seasons or things like that. Just, in an effort to simplify everything, but yet be able to get everything done and have everything the way we like to have it, so it's pretty. And at the end of the day, you look over and you're like, oh, that looks so nice over there. It's really making me happy just to see how I've set that up. In your own home, think about certain things that are the things you can snap in and snap out. Like we've been saying, if you're doing the neutral decor, then you have this ability to snap in these colors, which I know Anita's doing and I'm doing a little bit. And we're encouraging you guys to maybe do if you're very neutral. You can do the same thing with the seasonal decor. And if you have like a certain number of things, maybe 3 to 5 things that you change out, that is just so easy. You go around like, I'm thinking, yeah, I got rid of the eggs. Okay. But at the same time, I should have taken away that wool buffalo check throw that I have draped over the bench in the entry. And now that needs to be switched out because, like you're saying, it makes you hot to look at it when you come in. And my furry pillows, time to go.
Yes.
So maybe you make a list of 3 or 5 things, whatever you're comfortable with, like pillows, throws, and, sort of some generalized decor accent pieces. So for me, it would be the pillows in my living room and in the various chairs and whatnot throughout the house. And then the throws for sure. And then some little things that I like to add in. So the eggs are gone, but I have a collection of those sort of beach totes. I want to say they're from like the 50s and the 40s,
I've got some
woven.
of those.
Not necessarily the ones that say like Acapulco or anything, but maybe ones with flowers on them. I have a couple of those and I love to put those around the house. At the base of the kitchen stairs, I'll put something there. Whereas in the fall time, I have a little stool with a pumpkin. So I always know that area is going to get a little something for each of the seasons. So if you can find these little spots and then you have your the decor that needs to be switched out because the fabric needs to be changed or something like that. It just really simplifies the process and it gives you a starting point instead of thinking, do I have to take everything out of the room? Does everything have to change? Of course not. You always will have your foundation and then you can go around and just make those switcheroos and then pop in a little something interesting. A good thing to pop in when we're talking about plants is boxwoods do really well inside. You just can't let them dry out like the bone, bone. So I like to put them inside my crocks or the olive baskets or, those sorts of things. You could just buy a 5-gallon one. And I know I'll let you not even repot it if you think you're going to actually go plant it outside, in like a month or so. But if you just want to have that for, sort of, end of April into early June, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to plant that in my garden.
Wow.
You don't even have to replant it. Just stick it right in.
Oh, that's a great idea.
What I think we're saying is it's not a really big shift in the vibe of what you're using from spring to summer, but you don't want it to look so springy that like it's an identifier, like the bunny, the chip, the eggs.
Well,
and so instead of Kelly's beautiful golden eggs, she can put a big bowl of lemons there.
Exactly.
Something that easy makes such a big difference.
I love the bowl of fruit idea, and that's something I try to do all summer. This other thing I saw that I really love the concept of it. I don't have the stuff to make it, but if you have a really big shell from the beach, a really big one, I guess you'd probably have to buy this to plant some succulents in there. Wouldn't that be pretty for the summer?
I have one from the Pottery Barn. It's really a big serving platter, and it looks like a huge clam shell.
Oh, how fun.
And I've planted orchids in it before.
Oh, wow.
Succulents. Thank you, Anita. I'm going to do that. That is such an awesome idea.
Yeah, and the little pots of basil you can pick up at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Sometimes they look, they look good in the grocery store because they're all together, but the basil in the grocery store can be sort of leggy. So what I would suggest to you is that you get 3 or maybe even 4, and you put them in more of a medium-sized pot when you get home. It just looks like a better plant. Unless you're going to come home immediately and make, a caprese salad or something and cut them off. If it's part decor, part for, the culinary experience, buy a few. That way it'll last a little longer and it'll look good while it's on your counter, because otherwise you look like, Mrs. Adams, like you just have these stalks, all the basil is gone in one salad. It's gone.
And what a better use for it. Here's something else you can do. Buy terracotta pots, paint them white because white is such a fresh color. And then I love to number mine, like with a scrolly font, just sort of do it freehand, like number 3 done in a pretty like French font. And that's what I put my herbs in that I want to be inside.
Oh, that's nice.
And that is such a fun way to have sort of be a harbinger of summer to come. And then because where I live, they just don't do well inside. They can last a while, but then by the time it's really hot and time to plant them outside, they're ready to go outside.
Yeah,
and you can just put them right outside.
I love the idea of having those herbs inside the house. But again, those could be rotated too, because it's so fun. Then, like we've been saying, you can cut them off and use them in your cooking. That's just such a wonderful idea.
Well, later in the summer when we do have herbs, what I do is because my herb garden is like, it's like crazy town. They're just so ferocious in the way they grow that I cut a lot of herbs almost every morning and put them in a little glass and put them on my counter. And then when I'm cooking, I have them, but they look so pretty as I go along. But that's for a little later down the road.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is really simple ways to transition and make your house a little more summery. And, it's saving time, especially as we're getting into the summer months. Maybe if you have kids, your kids are home and you want to be busier. It's just, you're on vacation and it's just a nice busy time. And so you shouldn't be spending time, belaboring over your pillows and things like that. It's just going to be an easy way to do it. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfast, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
Here's another one. Swap out. I know in our outside, we keep pretty heavy doormats, like outside doormats, and even inside during the winter because it can be, wet and slushy and cold. And so I just thought of this. I'm going to swap out my heavy doormat for something lighter. And then inside, I'm going to use a small like a cotton runner or a small cotton rug inside my door because, people aren't tracking in all the mud and muck that they did.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm looking for a little striped one, actually.
Oh, well, I love my Dash and Albert rug, I just got the 2x3 sample and it's striped, it's the stripe.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, I can't wait till that comes out in mass production.
So it'll be available soon. But the other thing I wanted to mention is something else I've done in the past that I really love is collecting straw hats. Kind of garden hats or spring hats, and then just hanging them on a wall above a bed would be beautiful, or a mud room. I just love that look.
Yeah, or even off of the side of a chair that's not usually sat on. I just did that recently with I bought a hat box at a yard sale, which was such a great hat box. I just love hat boxes. And I didn't know that there was a hat in there. And so when I got home and I opened it up, there was this great men's straw hat with like the black band, like a really great Panama style.
I would wear that.
Fun.
You should wear that.
I tied I just tied a little twine to the label inside, and then I looped the twine over the top of the chair back because it's like a spindly thing.
Great idea.
And it's just hanging there. It looks really cute. It's right in my entryway.
Oh, how fun.
Here's also another thing. Just if you forget, if you have a fireplace, we have a fireplace, and if you don't need to use those fireplace tools, store them away. And just lighten that up. Put a basket there. Put some great faux greens or flowers or something like that in it. So simple. But, these are things you might forget about. And here's just even the simplest thing of all. Just add fresh flowers. I mean, I know we have a huge weeping cherry tree, and that's going to be in bloom like any day now. It was filled with really swollen buds and a few blooms, and it was snowing on it. So I think it maybe had stopped a little bit of the blooming, but just take something that you have outside along the roadside. There's always things, even like a little tiny vase of violets that you collect along the roadside, and add that to your house. It just makes such a difference.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of something I've always wanted. It's kind of a big item, but I just want this so badly. One of these days,
go for it. What is it?
A hanging bed for the porch. Don't you both want one of those?
Anita.
With a robe?
Yes.
Oh, I want one.
You could make it.
Well, someone else could make it.
Yeah,
I could watch someone make it.
You know that company? I think it's a very small, kind of like husband and wife thing. Handmade Home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you follow them on Instagram? I think that's their main product. You should look at them.
And some people I think have done them with pallets.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Find somebody that can make that for you. Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to ask for a show of hands or anything like that.
Okay.
But some people out there that are listening may have hooks or standing, coat racks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I have seen in some places where I go visit that people leave stuff like coats and mittens and scarves just there because you know what? It gets there, it lands there, and you walk past it every day and you don't even think about it. So you need to put all that stuff away. You're not wearing it. It's not doing anything for your decor. So get a basket, get a bin, put it in something in your closet, but make sure you go through your house and you look around and you see anything that's really talking winter. And if it's not winter outside anymore, you need to be putting that away.
I'm going to piggyback off that because that is such a good idea, Kelly. I also think that you should spring clean your closets, your coat closets. Mm-hmm. Mine over the winter just gets packed with stuff. So if I want to keep maybe a very light jacket in there and, like my garden hats we like to keep up there. It is just so full of mitten boxes and, scarves and things like that I need to consolidate and go through and see what we use and don't use. And it's also a really good time to have your coats cleaned, like your winter coats cleaned, and then just stash somewhere till the following late fall if you have a Four Seasons, if you live in Four Seasons. So that is such a good idea. And, here's just another thing about we have a vertical hooks in our foyer. Well, when my friends come, they'll put their purse on it or whatever, but they just sit bare. So don't forget to put something that's summery. And I usually put a big straw market basket that's, the kind that's sort of flimsy and it's great to use. I put that on there. And then I use I have a boot tray out all year for anybody who doesn't want to come in and, wants to take their shoes off. And I have my flip flops there and things. So it looks like the season. It looks like what we're wearing and what's going on outside.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Another thing about those baskets and those vintage baskets that I was talking about before, the totes, I did this one year and I just love it. And, it's something you do, and obviously doesn't last all that long, but you can put a big jar, whether it's an oversized food jar that you clean out or something, a big Tupperware cylinder container, and you can put fresh flowers sticking out of it. And it looks so great.
Just in fact, that's awesome when you're having a party or something.
Yeah. Well,
like
that's
that.
I use that photo on my Facebook. So if anybody wants to look at that, I have a yellow one with these really pretty yellow snapdragons coming out of them. And it's a little unexpected and it looks really beautiful. So you can do that with those market baskets too. Even if you're hanging it from somewhere, if it could be hung where it's not, dangling to the side, you can put something in it with some shallow water and let the flowers hang out, or you just use greens and that would even last longer. And how about wreaths? We love to put a wreath around, switch those things out. Or if you don't have a wreath now at all, you could put up a summery one.
Yeah, I think another fun thing to do in maybe a teenager's room, now you'd have to make sure that you were working with the studs in the room, is to hang a hammock in there. A really
Oh,
pretty hammock.
so fun.
My son did that in his college dormitory.
Well, I think it's a
And
great
he
idea,
loved it.
but do
Yes.
not put it in sheetrock. Make sure you're in the.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll be going down to the floor otherwise.
Mhm. And here, I just want to sort of circle back, Kelly. If you even have a ball jar, you can tie some twine around it and then also make a loop, and you can hang flowers from any hook.
So
Yeah,
cute.
I've done that
Such
on my
an
back
easy
porch.
idea.
It's a fun thing to do, and then you can put candles in them. You can put flowers, really whatever you want.
Well, and now is the time to think about restyling your bookcases, your buffet, your coffee tables, all your flat surfaces that you put decor on. And that's the fun part. Just sort of, restyle it for the season. If you have heavier things on it, bring out white dishes and white cake plates that you stack, or buy a really cool topiary with I have 2 faux topiaries that really look real, and they're just they're in really cool little terracotta pots, and they have a long stem, and then they have some pretty fluff at the top, but it really looks spring and summery. So just take an inventory, go around, freshen up your vignettes because you're going into that warmer season, and think a little bit ahead. So what you want to do is when you create a vignette or redo your buffet, you're going to think, okay, when like July comes around, what could I switch out for, let's say, a cake plate? What could you put in there instead that might give a better nod to the season? Maybe you're going to put in a bowl on your cake plate and put some shells in it. And I think it's really fun to think ahead, so you have a plan, so you're not thinking like, oh, I just can't think of this, I'm too busy. You're already doing it.
Because then all of a sudden, the days go by and the pumpkins are out and you missed it.
it's
You don't want to miss it. It's too fun.
I always feel like around January 20th, I say this every year, and I'm not kidding. I'll say, okay, I'm ready for Christmas now. Emotionally, everything's passed. I'm ready for it. It's like, well, sorry, it's too late.
And as bloggers, that's how we think. Like the second week in August, I'm bringing my pumpkins out and inventorying them and seeing what I have and what'll I need.
Right.
And so now is the time, like, to go wherever you stash if you have summer quote unquote decor. And that's what I'm going to do. Inventory it. What will you use? What can you give away? What are you going to use this year? What do you want to keep? I think that's so important because that'll spur your creativity to create something really pretty as we go into the summer season.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Well, let me tell you about one of our listeners who is taking all this advice in and running with it.
Oh,
she refers to herself as a vignette monster.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Barbie Shane, first of all, what an awesome name.
Hi, Barbie.
Yeah, so
Hey,
Barbie Shane has been emailing and sending us the most fabulous photos. And I just got a bunch last night. And she said, Anita always says to take a picture because you'll see things in a photo that you don't see when you're just looking at it.
Aww.
And then she's telling us how we're helping her to get the confidence to decorate her home and that she's an amateur, but she has a secret weapon. ... my designers.
Yeah.
So Barbie, we love
so
it. But you know
sweet.
what, girlfriend, you're listening in and you definitely are more than an amateur because these vignettes, in fact, the one I'm looking at right now has a candle with a starfish on it. And
I saw that. It's
palm
beautiful.
fronds. Yeah. And the others with all the
Oh.
shells.
It's got some lovely height. Very nice.
Right. And the bed tray with the candle going. I mean, she's got it all
Love
going
the
on,
bed
girl.
tray. Yep.
But we love it so much. So if you have created any beautiful vignettes for summer or spring or fall or Christmas, whatever you want to share with us, we'll take. But certainly if you're doing some summer ones now and you want to send them to us, just send them to our email. It's decoratingtipsandtricks@gmail.com. And we are so eager to look at those and would love to see what you guys are up to.
Yes. Well, we've had so much fun hanging out with you today. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.